What's going on, beautiful people? Machiavelli Mills TV, man. And me and my boy, my old roommate Melvin, we were talking about, the trials and tribulations that we faced growing up on the south side of Chicago, Illinois. For those who don't know, like I always talk about my city. I had a lot of fun growing up here, but I always acknowledge the hardships that we face or the obstacles that we had to overcome living here, right? And you can come from a great home, a great family or whatever, but your surroundings, especially when you're living in the inner city, it's always some other stuff going on, right? All different type of distractions, especially number one being gangs. Chicago is gang infested. It's been that way forever, and I don't know when it will stop being this way, but it has always been riddled, like infested with gangs, right? And we were talking about how we survived all the nonsense. And for real, y'all, the only way to survive the hood is to be a leader. You got to be a leader. You got to be a man that's going to stand on your own principles, on your own 2 feet, no matter what's going on. You can't be a man that's easily persuaded or easily swayed from one direction to the next. Because me being a young black man in a city of Chicago, I've seen this city swallow a lot of young black boys whole. I mean, kids that came from good homes, that came into school being good kids, and they got easily distracted. They got easily convinced to do other stuff so they wouldn't be lames, right? They were so scared of being lame, so scared of being not popular or whatever. They started doing other stuff they really didn't want to do just to fit in. And you got to be a leader out here. Like, that's one thing I commend my parents for so much, but one thing in particular that helped me know that helped me survive was them instilling in me that I was a leader. I don't follow whatever the next man doing. I don't follow behind the crowd. I'm going to do what's best for me. I'm going to make my own decisions because I know where I'm trying to go in life. I know I can't get derailed by bullshit, by nonsense. But it happens to a lot of young black boys a lot in the hood. And one thing that I always noticed for my whole time being, right, the hood will try to isolate you or box you out for being comfortable in your own skin or being comfortable being you. And it happens a lot, man. You don't want to, if you're a dude that just like going to school, like going to class, like playing sports, you don't like drinking, you don't like smoking weed, you don't like, you don't like gang banging, none of the other nonsense. If you ain't with that, it's always some dudes in the hood that try to make you feel like you less than, or you a lame, or you a square because you ain't doing what they doing. And the thing you got to keep in mind is, if you got somewhere you trying to go in life, if I'm gang banging, it's a possibility I'm going to either die or I'm going to go to jail. And those are two paths to destruction. It's going to stop you from ultimately gaining whatever goal you're trying to seek in life. And I knew that. I never wanted to be in nobody's jail cell where I gotta ask to see my family. I gotta wait to go take a shower. I gotta wait to eat. I gotta wait to play. I can't even watch TV when I really want to. I can't even play my game. And a man telling you when you can wash up. A man telling you when you can eat. I knew that was never no place for me. And I knew I was never willing to die for people that I didn't love. I'm only willing to die for my people that I really, really love and care about, that I know that ain't on no BS or whatever. But yeah, man, but I always saw it, in the hood, and we always talked about this a lot. You can, the kids that's always trying to do something positive or whatever, they easily shunned in the hood. He ain't on nothing, he a goofy, he a lame. And then a kid will feel bad or insecure about themselves and then try to join whatever activities is hot in the hood just to try to make a name for themselves. Because we already know, man, reputation in the hood is too overvalued, right? And it stems from the fact that we already don't got a lot of money at all. You know what I mean? We don't really got no money like that. And people feel like their reputation is what's going to take them the longest way in life. But I'm going to tell y'all one thing, especially with street credibility. You can't take street credibility to the bank and cash it at all. You can't feed your family with street credibility or nothing at all. That doesn't work. But I always saw that the dudes, the cool, calm, and collected dudes that was just minding their business, that was cool, good-hearted people, they always was the dudes that people was trying to get over on. When you a cool dude, people trying to get over on you, trying to finesse you out of something and all this and all of that. But when you a shiesty dude, when you known for being shiesty, you known for being a dude that's get down on some real scandalous stuff, people respect you. And it's weird because people always respect what they fear. And I hate that. Why you can't be just respected for being a good dude? But I always see people get respect in the hood for being intimidating. And that shit gotta stop. It gotta stop immediately, man. But like again, through all those type of things that's going on in the hood, it's all about being confident in yourself and being a person that you're gonna be a leader at the end of the day. Which is why I never hung around people that was on bullshit. I never hung around people that I knew was out running the streets and all that. I mean, they was cool with me. Like, they in the hood, they'd say, what's up? I never hung with them dudes. I never had them in my house. I never tried to be friends with them. I never tried to be best friends or try to make friends with them. Because at the end of the day, I knew that, like, that's going to be a road to destruction. It's going to lead nowhere but to destruction. Because they shiesty dudes. You know what I mean? And they willing to do anything to get what they want. If they shiesty to their own homeboys they grew up with, they definitely gonna do me dirty. They definitely gonna do me dirty because they greasy. That's how they get down. Like they cold hearted. They ain't got no heart. So whatever they doing, if they shiesty to their mans they grew up with, they gonna try to get over on me 10 times worse. Cause they don't feel justified to do it. I ain't grow up with him. It don't matter what I do to him. So it's always about being confident within yourself and being secure within yourself. Like me, right? And one thing I'll talk about my boy Melvin, man. Melvin was a kid that loved watching things that was not popular in the hood. He liked watching One Tree Hill. He liked listening to different types of music. But he never let that and people would try to make fun of him for it. Like, oh, you watching that One Tree Hill because you listening to he liked listening to R&B, or he liked listening to pop music sometimes or whatever. He might throw on something like completely different from what we listen to in the hood, but people always, or country or something, and somebody trying to make fun of him for it. But one thing I respect is that he always stood on his morals, and he stood his ground, and whatever he liked it, no matter what, if it was popular or not. And I'm the same way, man. I like learning. You feel me? I ain't like homework at all, but I went to class on time. Right, I never tried to skip class. I was never the dude not trying to go to class, trying to skip school or whatever. Like, I did well in school, and I knew I had to do well because I knew my mama and them didn't have no money for me to go to college, to pay for college. I knew my way to go to college was to get an academic scholarship because I wasn't gifted to dribble a ball or throw a football or whatever like some of my other homeboys was. You know what I mean? So I did what I had to do. I did the right thing to get to school. And I didn't care if people thought I was a lame for it. I ain't never really cared. Like, I ain't care about being popular. I never cared about everybody in the school knowing my name or none of that. You know, because at the end of the day, I feel like I had a bigger purpose in life than being popular. My purpose was to be able to feed my people as best as possible, feed my daughter, and to also come back and help the other young boys in the city of Chicago that was just a good kid living in the mad city, like Kendrick Lamar say, because I was always a good kid. I was a good kid the whole time. It's just the environment around me was chaos going on. You know what I mean? And I refused to get sucked into it because I knew, like, I kid y'all not, man. I went to high school with dudes that came into school good kids. Like, I mean, good kids that just was trying to go to school and crack jokes. Just be normal teenagers, right? By the time we graduated, some of them was deep into the streets to where they couldn't get out. Well, I mean, like, they so deep into the streets, if somebody see them on the wrong block, they getting shot at. Some of them lost their life by the time I went to college. Some of them is doing time in prison for murder, right? One dude in particular, I used to sit in front of him in class, like, is doing time for murder right now. He came into school a regular good kid, but he felt the pressure to be street. He felt the pressure. All the girls only gonna like the dudes that's in the street, so I'm gonna be like this and I'm gonna be like that. And me personally, I always thought that was a false narrative. Like, I mean, you got girls that do only like dudes that's in the street, that love street dudes. But at the same time, it was like I was a dude that wasn't in the streets at all, but the same girls that was liking them dudes in the hood was liking me too. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was like, if I got to be in the streets to get some girls, I ain't doing it. Hell no. I'm not going to jail for nobody at all. And I think that the way to survive the hood, I'm not saying I did everything. I would just follow my golden book or whatever, but follow my golden rules to survive the hood. But it's a major part of surviving the hood is being comfortable within yourself and being a leader, man. You can't let these other dudes suck you into the stuff that they got going on. Because at the end of the day, I'm knowing, and don't nobody want to live their life where they got to look over their shoulder every single day, where they got to live life on an island. They can't go here, can't go there. I talk about it in the other video. You can't go to certain parts of the city because you in the streets so heavy. You got dudes from all over the city at your head, and it's not a good look, man. It's not. And I'm gonna say this too, because I was never the dude that I didn't dress the freshest. We ain't had no money for me to be buying Jordans or whatever, right? I didn't have a whole bunch of different clothes, or I didn't have no car in high school. I didn't have none of that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I still was able to be comfortable within myself, and I had friends around me that was the same way, right? And ultimately, even though I went to class all the time, I did my homework, even though I didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? And I wasn't a street dude, even though I wasn't none of that. I was still able to be prom king or whatever. And even if I didn't win that, I ain't care nothing about being accepted by everybody else. And that's the way to really survive the hood. Because it's like, I see it all the time. There's vultures in the hood that try to suck you into the stuff that they got going on, so they won't be the only one on BS. So there's other people that's jealous. It's dudes in the hood that's jealous of you if you're doing the right thing, and they want you to get on some negative stuff so they can block your blessings or stop you from being all that you can be, because they realize, or they didn't realize their potential soon enough, and they feel like it's too late or whatever. But yeah, man, like I always feel some type of way. When I left Chicago, and at first, I was one of them kids, when I was a shorty, I always said I was going to live and move, and I was going to live in like Miami. I was going to live in California or somewhere nice in a big old house or whatever, and I was going to move far away and all this and all of that. But as I got older and I went to college, I was realizing that it was a lot of other kids here that need my help. They need help from young dudes that went to school and went and did, got degrees, and help to guide them along the way too. And like, for real, because it's easy to get sucked into all the BS that's going on. It's super easy, especially with social media and all that stuff being accessible as it is now. Man, listen, it's so easy to get drawn into that stuff. And I know I don't have a son, but I know that I got little cousins, right? I got little cousins. I got a nephew. I got all my younger family members that I got to make sure they don't be on no other stuff and they follow the right path. Because I promise y'all, man, I seen it all the time. And one thing my mama always told me too, my pops did too. Like I always say they raised me to be a leader, and they raised me to be a man that was able to make my own decisions, right? Do what's best for me, make my own decisions and live with it. And that's what I'm comfortable doing. But yeah, man, it's so much stuff that got to stop going on in the hood though. Because me talking about how, the hood will box you out, or we celebrate the wrong stuff in the hood, I be seeing dudes coming back from jail doing bids, and everybody throw a whole party for this man on the block. Everybody cheering him on. He did some bullshit. He did bullshit to end up in jail in the first place. He come home, he get a whole party thrown for him and everything. The dude that went to college, got a degree, came back home. Nobody really celebrate him but his family. But the hood love the dude that went to jail for 10 years and come back, and because he ain't telling nobody he's certified and he glorified in the hood. I think that's some bullshit. Like, I never respected that. You know what I mean? For one, I always felt like this. We all make decisions. We all, we know nobody's perfect. But it's a mistake to commit crimes knowing that you got children on this earth or little brothers and sisters looking up to you. Commit crimes and be taken away from them, and somebody else got to help provide for them. Like, that's not, nah, man, that ain't cool. You don't want to go to do something you got to go to jail for. It's legal ways to provide for your people, for your family. It's legal ways to get it. And I always feel like it's some street dudes that was super smart, and I feel like if they would have applied that to something else, I'm not saying you got to go to college, to a business or a trade or something. If you would have applied that, if they would have applied that knowledge to another area, it would have been like, stuff would have been better off. You know what I mean? And a lot of them realize that when they got out of prison. Some of them don't. But like, for me, I always knew, like, man, it's no positive end to that street stuff at all. There's no positive end to it at all. And I always didn't like how the dudes in the hood that was playing Debo was the ones that was always like giving a positive nod, or always looked at as the real dudes, and the dudes going to school was looked at as the squares. And I'm like, what part of the game is that? I Ain't no honor in that. I don't honor that. I don't respect that. Because then it's going to make the young boys and the other young shorties in the hood thinking, I got to be on street stuff to be looked at as cool. I got to be on street stuff to get respect or whatever. But like I said, you can't take street credibility to the bank and cash it in for bread. It can't pay no bills in your house. It can't put no food in your kids' mouth. It can't put no food in your little cousins or sisters or your mom's mouth. It can't do none of that. So I think it's silly. It's nonsense at the end of the day. But I see so many key people just fall right into the trap. And when they say the trap, when they in the trap, it's really a trap. Because once you get in it, it's a hard stain to wipe off of you. Being in prison, doing them time, is like it's something that's on your record forever, for the most part. And it follows you. And I'm like, I don't never want my people to be products of the system, right? Because they became products of their environment. I will say this. I wasn't a product of my environment by like going to jail or whatever. Chicago taught me to have a lot of street sense, street knowledge. But it taught me some survival skills that I will never lose, no matter where I'm at. But it also taught me the dangers of falling into the traps, falling into the negative stuff. I seen dudes going to jail, doing a long, long time. People in my family too, you know, and it hurt my heart to see them like that. But it was also a sign to know, hey, it's not something that you want to do ever in your life. And my family even told me that y'all never go down this route. There's never no positive end to this. Who want to be in a cell for 10, 15 years away from their people? Who want to do? Nobody really want to do that. No matter, I don't care how hard and tough dudes on the block say they are. When they go to jail and their judge tell them 25 years, they crying in that cell at night. Because it's no fun. It's no honor in everybody try to act like, oh, they love you to death. You going to jail. And I promise you, as soon as you go to jail, it's some dude in the hood trying to talk to your baby mama, trying to talk to your girl, or your daughter grow up. And the same dudes that was running around in the streets with you trying to lusting after your young daughter or whatever. Like, hell no, I'm good on that. But I see a lot of times, though, dudes, they respecting you and praising you for being in jail or whatever. And your young daughter is out here growing up and they out here lusting after her. Like, lusting for her. That's ridiculous. But, yeah, man, to survive the hood, you got to be yourself and never be afraid to be yourself. That's the way to overcome all the other stuff and to get where you ultimately trying to go. Machiavelli Mills TV, I done talked enough. Peace.